So here I am, at least a day late, most likely going to be $1 short. Bonnie Mommy, coined by Shafe Studios. Shafed. Chafing was a real problem I had when I used to backpack a lot. And what I did was I would wear like bicycle shorts to keep myself from chafing. But you were talking about your mom's living in Seattle, and I think the question comes down to populated areas at all. When I think about really heavily populated areas, which I'm obviously, as somebody had to rat me out, I'm near a very populated area. What do you do? And I think, going down to, say, downtown Tampa here, or downtown Orlando, golly, I'm so paranoid about stuff. I don't really let anxiety get to me, but golly, like, my peripheral vision's open. I'm like constantly, it's gonna sound like I'm a psychopath, but I'm constantly running the OODA loop over and over and over again. I usually bring 2 extra magazines for my carry piece. It's pretty wild. And then, so in the case when we were at the mall a couple weekends ago, remember the iPhone battery story? Was it the Neiman Marcus guy? The Neiman Marcus security guard. Here I am in, I'm just wearing like a black polo, like a little loose, but I'm wearing cargo shorts, and you can see like little clips hanging off everywhere. Not like a clip like how I like to name a magazine, but like my flashlight has a pocket clip, my knife has a pocket clip, and I'm probably printing like an MFer, because it's not cold outside. And oh, golly, this one time I went to when we went to Orlando. So I've got what they call a hybrid holster, and meaning it's leather and Kydex, and it's designed to be it's a max tuck. So it's designed to have like a shirt tucked around it. So it's for, semi deep concealment. But when you don't have a shirt tucked in, the metal clips rub directly against the leather. So all day long I'm walking around and I sound like a creaky door because the metal's rubbing against the leather, going rick, rick. And my wife, who, by the way, does not like guns, she's like, rick. She's like, "What's that noise?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then finally at the end of the day, she's like, "What in the world?" And I'm like, "It's my holster." She's like, "What do you do with your holster?" And I always take it as a compliment when she doesn't realize that I'm packing heat. This one time we went to a funeral, and I'm like ankle carrying, and I don't remember how exactly she figured it out. She's like, "You bringing a gun to a funeral?" I'm like, not really. It's more of a celebration of life. But populated areas, and this goes back to when Shafe, you were talking about people who do their protests and they're blocking the interstates and stuff. Man, that stuff is pretty scary, especially when you have your family with you. And I really can't imagine your sister thinking, "Oh, the Big Apple, that's the place for me." My quick story. A person I went to high school with ended up, she was always very, very liberal, very left-leaning. Always. Definitely the like the token hippie lefty person, you know, doctrine right down the core, you know, hook, line, and sinker. If the Democrats are dashing babies against the rocks, she's dashing babies against the rocks. So she went on, very, very intelligent person. She was one of our, we had co-valedictorians actually my senior year of high school. And she was one of them. She ended up getting a master's degree from Cornell in journalism, traveled the world, did some articles, actually some quite famous articles, and worked for the United Nations for a while. A truly amazing person that, gosh, I always liked her too. Like in a strange, attracted way. I was close friends with her brother. We were both in Boy Scouts together. So, and I always thought she was cool, and I admired her intelligence. I always figured she despised my conservatism, which, I don't know. I can't really explain that away. But to make a long story short, she lives in New York City. And we ended up getting really close 20 years later, following my 20-year high school reunion. Had some great conversations with her. I mean, amazing. And got close. We stayed in touch. So we were communicating via Facebook. And this goes through to the COVID stuff and how New York City was handling it. Now, she is, her son goes to, I don't know, what do they call those? It's like a private school, but it's like a new launch, like a Target school, or the name genuinely does escape me. It's not like that. I'm not playing games on that. But anyway, so the schools ended up staying closed, but then they allowed businesses to be open, and it exposed her to the political party and the political power. The way that obviously the one union gave the government money so they were able to open back up, but the education union didn't give the money so they weren't, or vice versa. I mean, something was like in New York City for her was just blatantly obvious what a big load of bullcrap the whole thing was. Whether it was bullcrap in the beginning, that's a different story. But the bullcrap now, as a result, like being in Florida the whole time, I really look upon places like Michigan and California. I don't remember where it was we went. We went out of state. Where did we go? Golly, it's unusual for us to travel. Went somewhere. And I'm like so stuck up about the whole thing. And my wife is like, the whole guiding the poor country mouse meets a city mouse. Like, no, they're still doing that here. I'm like thinking, oh, how quaint. If you get what I'm saying. But, man, bottom line is, though, with Seattle, what a freaking shame. When, you remember in 90, 91, when grunge was getting big, I wanted to go to Seattle. That was an option, you know, study engineering like the guy in the movie Singles, you know, and go and see Alice in Chains in concert, you know, like make all kinds of bank as an engineer during the day and go to badass concerts by night and see Alice in Chains with Lance Staley up there. Into the flood again. Same old trip it was back then. So I made a big mistake. Try to see it was my way. Nobody can sing like him. Nobody. There's doggone videos about how nobody can sing that way, the way he sings. I mean, I'm sure people can, but he was very unique and special. And, you know, bands like Mudhoney. I know, Shafe, you like it when I make guitar sounds. So that grunge sound, Mudhoney just totally is the epitome. To me, it's the epitome of the Seattle grunge song, like just so much crunch, fuzzy crunch. It's like doubled up fuzzy crunch. And I don't think, golly, I don't know, man. You might be able to do it with a Telecaster. You might be able to do it with a Gibson, but them dudes are like using Jazz Masters and stuff. The sound that Kurt Cobain got, it was pretty special. But no more. Seattle went on to a situation with like Chaz Chop, and we have urban campers, like shanty towns, going up on a sidewalk, which I have no earthly idea how it doesn't violate code to have domiciles established on public property. It does down here. I mean, there's ways around it, but somebody's not doing something, which I don't know which, is it the Chicago governor that's working really hard actively towards the homelessness situation? That's an interesting topic that I would like to get into with you guys, if you're willing to, because what I don't understand, and anybody who's a social worker, I think, Shafe, if your degree's in psychology, then did you do some internship as in the social services? I'm just curious if you're still watching the video. I wouldn't blame you if you weren't, but you missed out on that Mudhoney thing. I got that CD somewhere, The Piece of Cake, Suck You Dry. Oh my God, that's so good. That is so good. I'm gonna listen to that on the way to work. Okay. So proposed topic, I make a motion that we talk about the homelessness in cities. Catch y'all later.